And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Thursday, January 19th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. A Thursday morning and time for us to talk about Bates Ford. Bates Ford, located at 1673 West Main in Lebanon, and they, of course, the dealer to trade for anything you don't eat. We've got Paul Tubbs here this morning. Paul, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Ronnie Kelly is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Between the two of you, we managed to do about 6 or 7 minutes every Thursday morning and talk about cars and service and all that's going on at 1673 West Main. Ronnie, you want to get us started this morning?
Yes, we have a lot of great deals at Bates Ford this morning. We have a ton of used cars. We got all type of used cars and trucks, and we got a mixture of everything that you can think of. You know, we got Ford, GMC, Chevrolets, Toyotas, Nissans. We have it all, and also we got a great selection of new vehicles. That's F-150.
Well, I said something to you before we went on the air here about what's new or whatever, and I hadn't thought about this so much, but you said we have a lot of new customers.
Yes, we have a lot of new customers coming in each day. They moving in Lebanon. I don't know where all they coming from, but we enjoy talking with new people. I talked to 2 or 3 new customers on yesterday, and hope to put a deal together today. You know, on this new customer that came in yesterday, and I think I will. You know?
Well, I guess the fact that we have new people coming in all the time has at least been a contributing factor to getting a new location and getting a little bit bigger and a bigger service area.
Yeah, that was one of the big issues is the amount of space that we got at our 1673 location, you know, for services is the biggest issue. It don't, like I always said, it don't take a lot of room to sell a car, but it takes a lot of room to fix several. And I told somebody, I said about 80% of the phone calls I look at the number if where it got service, and most of them are different area codes. You very rarely 615 comes up, so that's kind of a telltale sign of we've got a lot of growth, but you know that's the contributing factor into why me and Tony wanted to build a bigger facility to have a bigger service department and a bigger area to service our customers.
Well, think about it. You've been there, and you have a lot of people who have stayed the course, been there for a long time. You talk about being family and working well together, and that probably means doing a better job, sometimes even quicker. Taking care of people.
Yeah, I mean, we have probably, 15 employees, 20 plus years. I mean, several technicians. One thing that I always say is, you know, I've got 7 techs that's been there 25 plus years. A lot of them's just grown up through there. Probably a lot of them's got to learn a new way to get to work, so they're going to drive to West Main Street. But, you know, we're moving along, pressing. I went by yesterday, and they got walls, and I had a meeting with the construction company and the engineers and the developers, and you know we're moving forward, and hopefully by October, with my fingers crossed, we'll be in our new facility.
Cheapest oil change in town.
Yeah, right now we're running cheapest oil changes down. One thing I said last week too is diesels. I've had several people tell me that diesel oil changes have gone crazy, and you know, with the wet, rainy, if construction people want to come in, we do a diesel oil change on the Ford vehicles for $150. Some of the Dodge take a little bit higher oil and stuff like that. One thing Ronnie was talking about, several different vehicles that we got. We've got a whole bunch of Lincolns. Mr. Bates went on and bought a bunch of program vehicles from Ford. They had a Lincoln sale where executives turn them in. So if you're looking for a good Lincoln, we've got Navigators all the way down to Continentals. We've got probably 25 Lincoln vehicles right now that Mr. Bates bought on a fleet sale. Back on the service side, I wanted to say that because he talked about the different brake makes and models. But tires right now, I just bought a set of tires for my daughter yesterday, and $100 rebate, bought a set of tires, and I check prices and just to get the market. A lot of times I'll try to see who all's in what price range, and they were cheaper than anybody around. I called Discount Tire, I called Firestone, I called a couple other places to see I like to price match and check and make sure that we're staying within, you know, the parameters of everybody else, and our tires were cheaper than anybody in town.
Yeah. Well, Ronnie?
I was going to talk with Paul. I think him and Tony bought an armored car. And I think Paul know more about it than I know about it.
Yeah, Tony, he loves crazy things like that. That's his whole pet peeve. I mean, he about that one commercial you seen on TV with him driving that hovercraft, and he don't. That's his pride and joy. We'll trade for anything that don't eat, and he likes things like that, and his success proves that it's proven. But he bought a Navigator. And that thing, somebody during the pandemic, it was from Texas. It was an oil person that thought that the world was coming to an end, and he bought this $100,000 Navigator and put a $80,000 armored. It's got glass. It's got the whole 9 yards. I got the list of the package and all that. It's supposed to be there today. We're getting it transported in, but I'll be interested to see what all it's got. But
That ought to attract a few observers.
yeah, I mean, it looks like a Navigator, and the whole thing is it was to look factory, but it's got the bulletproof glass. It's got the whole. I got the list of the kit, and the kit was actually $80,000 kit that that was put on it.
Now, what's going to happen to that? Is Mr. Bates gonna keep that?
I don't think so. I mean, he don't keep any very much unless it's an old F-150 or a Bronco. He loves them things, but it'll go for sale. We'll see what happens. We put it online if somebody in the politics or somebody's looking for something like that. It's we'll put it on our website and see what happens.
Ronnie, you can close it out quickly this morning.
And don't forget that we the dealer that trade for anything that don't eat. So if you have anything that you want to turn into cash, bring it down to Bates Ford.
All right. Paul Tubbs and Ronnie Kelly for Bates Ford, 1673 West Main in Lebanon. Y'all have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday, and thank you. Okay, we're about 10 and a half after the hour. I'm going to go to the telephone, and my guest for part one is on the line this morning. And I want to welcome Mr. Paul Corder, who is the planning director for the city of Lebanon. Paul, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, and it is good to hear your voice this morning. You've been with us a few times over the years, and I guess Jeff asked you to be my guest today, Jeff Baines. Would that be right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, what's going on?
Well, there's several things going on. I think you've talked about the urban growth boundary at the county growth plan. So that's one thing. There's a meeting tonight here at the city hall at 6 o'clock for the Lebanon part of it. But we have other things going on. We have the zoning code coming up soon. The sign code is going to be updated. Hopefully it'll be going through city council in February. And this next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about having how to do parking in the yard. There's been some issues with areas of town where parking in the yard has been a problem. So we're going to be talking about that at the Planning Commission this next Tuesday. And then the following week on the 30th, we're going to be talking about whether the city should regulate single-family residential. Right now, we don't really have any design standards for that. There's a proposal to regulate that with landscaping requirements and maybe material standards for residential single family, and we're not sure we want to get into it, but we might. So there will be an opportunity to talk about that as well.
Well, it sounds like you are quite busy, that there are a lot of things that are perhaps on the horizon here to be dealt with.
Yeah, there's quite a few things. I mentioned the urban growth boundary meeting tonight at 6. The mayor is also having a meeting today that he can take comments from citizens, and it starts at 3 o'clock and goes to 6 tonight at the Mitchell House. He'll be presenting a few ideas, but mostly just listening to citizens and business owners and seeing what their needs are.
Okay, we are about time to take a break. So, Paul, let's do that here maybe a minute early. We'll get into some details about some of these things you have brought up here, if that's okay, when we come back on the other side. Paul Corder, Planning Director of City of Lebanon, my guest here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And at 7:13, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Bates Ford, that regular oil change, $34.95, up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It should start to improve here in the next few minutes as they clear that wreck up on 24 eastbound at Briley Parkway. That caused a huge delay for folks trying to get through Jolton, the Whites Creek area. Again, eastbound 24 still slow from the Jolton exit all the way up to Briley Parkway. It's still a mess out in Smith County as THB cleans up that wreck 40 westbound at the 262-mile marker. That's got traffic backed up pretty good through that stretch of Smith County. Still some flashing lights over here on 24 westbound in the Smyrna area as they move a stalled vehicle just past Elmaville Road. Hey, Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested top-shelf hemp products across Tennessee, edibles, flowers, concentrates. They're online at snapdragon420.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
A.G. & Johnson is your experienced real estate and auction company, specializing in residential, commercial, and personal property auctions. Did you know that auctions are a fast and efficient way to sell your property? Auctions reduce time on the market and have an exact selling date. Call us for an in-home consultation today at 615-444-0909. A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main Street in Lebanon, or find us online at agandjohnson.com. Voted best auction company in Wilson County.
I do a lot of thinking while I'm driving. I think about my kids, my grandkids, and my insurance business. When's the last time you thought about having your insurance program reviewed? This is John Bryan with THW Insurance. We're an independent, trusted choice insurance agency representing several top-rated insurance companies like Westfield Insurance Company. Give me a call at 615-443-3849 for a no-obligation review of your current insurance plan. THW Insurance Services, serving Lebanon and Wilson County for decades.
And we continue here on this Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us, and my thanks to Paul Porter, Planning Director for the City of Lebanon, for being with us today. And we do have a number of things to talk about, but the growth boundary, let's discuss that a little bit, Paul.
Sure, yeah. So it started out back in 1998, I think. The state required us to do growth boundaries. Made that pass forward, and it's been updated a few times, but just last year, Mount Juliet asked to have it open back up. So I think they're expanding they're wanting to expand their growth boundary. Watertown found a few areas or an area that they want to expand theirs to. Lebanon is pretty much staying pat. We're not doing a whole lot in Lebanon as far as expanding it. Ours is pretty big already.
Well, explain.
Three parcels that Mount Juliet is wanting to take from our growth boundary. So there's a little bit of change there, but that's about it.
Okay, explain that. There's a difference in adding, I think there is, adding to your growth boundary and actually annexing. Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. Some people refer to the growth boundary as the sprawl 2 line. The assumption is that we're planning to annex everything in there, and that's not really the case. It's the best way to think about it is the growth boundary is the area that the county has agreed to let us annex if we want to. But generally, we're not going to be able to go outside the urban growth boundary for annexation. So if you're outside the urban growth boundary, we're not really going to consider annexing you unless we want to open up the whole process again. And it really is quite a big process. Mount Juliet has to agree to it, Lebanon has to agree to it, Watertown has to agree to it, and the county commission has to agree to it. So if you want to expand your growth boundary, everybody has to agree to it. So it's quite a challenge, or quite a big effort to expand it.
Well, let me ask one other thing. Why, and I guess it's just the way it is, but you can explain this a little bit. Why are we not needing or wanting to add to our growth boundary in Lebanon, but Watertown and Mount Juliet are?
Yeah, there's actually a specific reason that Lebanon's not. we have an agreement with a sewer authority that's out in the county, and if we annex within our urban growth boundary, we're going to serve it with our sewer. Generally, though, they have their jurisdiction is the county outside of the city limits. Mount Juliet doesn't have that, and I don't know the specifics of it, but they don't have the same agreement. But our current urban growth boundary, what we have now, when we go out, when we annex inside of that, we can serve it with sewer. But expanding it, that agreement doesn't cover anything we expand to. So that's one of the reasons. But our urban growth boundary is over twice as big as the city, so we've got plenty of room to grow if we need to. So for those two reasons, that our urban growth boundary is pretty big, and we know that we can serve the utilities that we need to serve, that we want to serve within that urban growth boundary, but extending it may not allow us to in those new areas. We've just decided that we're doing okay with the boundary that we have. Now, there may be one area, one or two areas that, depending on comments, we might consider adding into it or taking out of. But so it's not completely final yet. We are having a public meeting tonight to talk about it. But that's the main reason why we're staying where we're at.
Okay, well, one other question, we'll move on to something else. Do you anticipate any or even a lot of controversy regarding what Mount Juliet and what Watertown are thinking about?
Well, my understanding with Watertown is that there's just a couple of property owners that control all the land they're adding to. So I'm assuming, which I don't know for sure, but I would assume that those property owners are on board with it. Now, Mount Juliet is taking in quite a bit. So I do expect some comments, some public engagement. We go down to Gladeville pretty close, and we've been conscious not to really go into Gladeville. That's what we've heard from the public down there, that they don't want to be part of Lebanon. And I know what Mount Juliet's doing is getting closer to Gladeville, so I'm sure there will be some comments about that as well.
Okay, well, let's switch gears here just a little bit. You mentioned parking and the thing about parking cars in yards, and I'm wondering if there's any history on this or what has brought this about, and are there some people complaining? Are there some people who are pretty adamant about not having further parking regulations?
Yeah, there's about two streets right now that are kind of we've had some issues with people parking in the lawn and not in their driveways. So just putting some regulations on that. At first we were going to just do it in the historic district. It's really Ward 2 and Ward 3 are what the proposal is now. We've had a request from the council people in there, but it doesn't seem like something that needs to go citywide at this point. Although in the code, we're going to provide a provision that if a neighborhood wants to come in and have this overlay placed on them where no parking in the yard is allowed, there is a mechanism to do that as well. So it can expand, but starting out with the areas where we see the need right now.
Well, what's the need here? I mean, I'm wondering, we're talking about multiple cars. I mean, if it's my house and my lot and I'm paying for it and it's mine, I'm kind of the opinion I ought to be able to park my car wherever I wanted to, and I'm wondering where this is coming from.
Well, definitely. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we have a public process. There's a reason why we haven't had this law in place up until this point. We kind of looked around, at other cities, and there's a few places where certain areas of town do have these overlays. A lot of times homeowners associations take care of it, so it's not that big a deal in a lot of places. But, that's a legitimate point. It's your property. If you want to park in the yard, then, that's something you should be able to do. Basically we're saying in the code that we want to see cars parked on driveways, in paved or gravel. Some places you can do parallel parking up by the sidewalk or at the front of your property, so that's going to be okay. But less than 50% of your front yard should be used for that type of parking. So that's what's on the table. There's been a specific request from the council person from Ward 3, and then Ward 2 also jumped on that because there's a couple of issues that need to be taken care of there. But I don't know that it's a slam dunk. I don't know what all the other councilors think.
Okay, one other thing I'm wondering about too, and I don't know how many people have yard sales, garage sales anymore, and there have been times whenever somebody has one of those, and you have an abundance of people and cars that can really impede traffic and park all over the place. And would this have to do with that at all?
Well, that gets down to how the enforcement's going to be done, and the goal here is just, to get chronic problems. If you're having a yard sale or a birthday party, that won't be an issue. We had when we were doing the historic district, we had Wilson Bank and Trust came up when we were talking about this at first, and they have events and they park in the yard, so in the grass. How would that affect them? So those things are coming up, but it's really geared towards trying to deal with safety issues and how you come out of your yard, chronic problems where there's just multiple cars in the yard all the time.
Okay, I believe there was another thing regarding residential regulations or something that you mentioned right at the beginning. What's that all about?
Yeah, up until this point, again, this is where we're kind of venturing into new territory. It's been proposed to consider regulating single-family homes and how they're designed. So material standards, landscaping, a little bit about parking and how garages should work and that type of thing. But right now, there's a proposal from a committee that the city has, the residential committee. It's an ad hoc committee that the planning commission has, made up of some of the planning commissioners, to propose that 75% of all single-family homes, new single-family homes, would be brick. Now, we're not intending this to, once the house is up, once it's built, we're not going to look at what people do after that. It's just really the initial build. So that's what the proposal is. And again, this is one where there's quite a bit of conversation about it, whether we should regulate single-family homes at all, and then also what materials and how far we should go with that.
Do you have a feel for how the mayor and maybe even more important, the city council, the city fathers here, the six of them, feel about that?
Well, I've learned for a long time now that I shouldn't speak for them at all. I'll get it wrong half the time, but I don't really know how everybody feels about it. I know that it's a new concept. I know that it's really going to affect. It potentially affects a lot of people, mostly new houses that are coming in. But if you have a vacant lot and you want to put a new house on it, how that's going to work. We've looked around at the historical building development types in Lebanon, and there are quite a few different materials. But, we look over at our neighboring community, Mount Juliet, they're fairly strict on brick. We've seen some really nice examples of brick
Hey,
building.
this is Paul at Bates Ford. We got some great things going on for you. If you got a vehicle you want to sell, bring it to Bates Ford. We'll give you a cash offer on.
Too plain. So, in the past, we've always tried to give some guidelines, especially to commercial and multifamily that we have regulations for, but also give the architects some freedom to do something nice and not just try to fit our code.
Well, it seems like there's quite a bit to think about here, and I don't know, developing an ordinance or a ruling that people got to comply with is going to take a lot of time and thinking to really get it right.
Yeah, and so for the design guidelines, we're going to have a meeting at 5 o'clock on the 30th of this month, and just have all the details of what's being proposed, and just really want to hear the public's comment about what their thoughts are on it. It's really the first time it's been brought up to the public, and we're open to hear any and all comments that we can get on that to see where we want to go with it. But that'll be at City Hall here.
All right, we got about 30 seconds. One more time, remind people of the meeting today involving the mayor and people that want to come to be recognized there.
Yeah, it'll be the mayor's having a meeting today. It starts at 3, it goes to 6, and he'll be listening to public comments. He's got a few things that he wants to communicate, but I understand there's going to be a little bit of food there, and I think it'll be a really good time for the mayor and the economic development director, Sarah Haston, to hear from the public, and I'm sure many other city officials will be there. Yeah, come on out and let him know what you think, and then if you want to come to the urban growth boundary, if that interests you, then come at 6 o'clock at City Hall, and we'll be doing that tonight as well.
All right. Well, if you got food, they will come. Paul, thank you for being with us today. We enjoyed your visit, and we'll do it again sometime. Paul Corner, who's the planning director for City of Lebanon. That is part one of Coleman and Company. Hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And to 731, let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. They have a deal designed to keep you ahead of schedule. Check out the world's #1 selling compact excavator plus 0% financing. It's going on now. 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's actually trying to move a little bit better on 24 eastbound at Briley Parkway as you come in through the Jolton area from that earlier crash. It's heavy down I-40 right now in Wilson County as you travel through Lebanon into Mount Juliet. It's wanting to slow down sometimes over here on 40 westbound at Spence Lane up by the airport. Not bad actually on I-40 through Dixon County with the exception of lots of radar. Hey, Nash Painting Services all of Middle Tennessee. They're online right now at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
Crosses over into the lane, lobs it up back, Jordan Bird will finish. We are thrilled to announce that Cumberland University basketball is back on WANT FM 98.9. Join me, John Boyce, and Cumberland University Athletic Director Ron Pavin, January 26th, 28th, and February 18th as we wind down the regular season and gear up for the postseason in both men's and women's basketball. Thursday games tip at 5:30, while Saturday games tip at noon with our pregame show starting 15 minutes prior. Phoenix Hoops back on 98.9.
Hey, this is Paul at Bates Ford. We got some great things going on for you. If you got a vehicle you want to sell, bring it to Bates Ford. We'll give you a cash offer on the spot. Also, come check out our great used inventory. And on the service side, we got the cheapest oil change in town, got the cheapest batteries in town, and we'll meet or beat anybody's price on tires. Come visit us at Bates Ford, 1673 West Main, or visit us on the web at www.tonybatesford.com. That's Bates Ford, the dealer will trade for anything that don't eat.
We're dealing with some wind out there now that the storm front has moved through. Look for a fresh breeze, winds around 21 miles an hour today, with a high of 66 degrees. Temperatures drop to 33 overnight, and we will only be in the mid-40s tomorrow. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
auction. We've got I'm going to say our usual two, because it is usually Jay White and Helene Cash, and they're both with us today. Jay, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
Good to see you. Helene, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
We're glad to have you both, of course, and remind everybody, A.G. and Johnson Realty and Auction been around since 1977. The two here have not been with them that long, but Jay's the owner now, and Helene Cash is playing a leading role, especially on Thursday mornings.
Thursday mornings.
728 West Main in Lebanon. That phone number is
615-444-0909.
All right, Jay, you want to get us started?
I will, Coleman. This Saturday morning, we always like to talk about an auction, and so this Saturday morning we're going to be down in Hermitage, right off the I guess the Old Hickory Boulevard exit, about just about a mile off the exit there, in a great established subdivision. We've got a nice 2-story home down there with a full basement, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Sits on a corner lot, a large lot down there. Just a great opportunity to buy a nice home in a well-established neighborhood down in the Hermitage area. We have lots and lots of personal property, so come and be with us if you're into any kind of country music memorabilia or music memorabilia. This fella spent his life in the music, in and around the music world, and we've got lots of things, lots of I guess country music stars and all type of musicians. Lots of signed autograph photos and records, and just a lot of things that you just don't see every day. So
yeah, some country music lover and a collector would have
oh,
a field
absolutely
day here, wouldn't it?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just some very nice things down there to sell that you just don't get to you don't get the opportunity to see and to be around very often. But
Don't take you nearly all day.
well, we're not planning anything else to do on this Saturday. So we'll be there till we get through, but we will be there a little while. It'll take a while to work through all the merchandise there, but it will be a great day, and come out and be with us. So, but the weather's supposed to be really, really good for Saturday for this time of the year. Yeah. So we're really looking forward to Saturday. Really looking forward to it.
You got any others you're going to be mentioning? I'm sure you've got some more before
We've
long.
got some more before long, but I mean, we've got some things coming in February that we're going to be doing, and we'll be talking about them a little later on in the month. But we do have some other sales coming, and we have we've got sales coming in the spring, and we'd like to say, if you're thinking about maybe having an auction sale in the early spring or early spring, early summer, now's the time to for us to get together, and because these things, we just can't put them together overnight. So
right, it takes a little while. Well, you go all out. I mean, you really put everything you're supposed to into an auction, and you just can't do that overnight, as you say.
That's true. It takes a little time. It takes a little time to put all the pieces to the puzzle together.
All right, Helene, I guess it's your time.
Well, thank you, Coleman. So I picked out a new listing for us. I really like this one. It is in Gainesboro. The front porch.
That's up in Jackson County, where they pipe the sunshine in and the moonshine out.
Now, I have not heard that one, but I'm going to keep that one. I loved it.
I heard that a long time ago, about several places, actually.
I particularly like this one because it specifically says the front porch views of Cordell Hole Reservoir. So I like this because there's so many options that it could be a second home. It could be your lake home. It could be your short-term rental home. It is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home listed for $235,900, sitting on just over an acre. So it sounds like a great investment piece. Mm-hmm. So it's 1-level living brick home. So think about that. It's just over an acre, 3-bedroom, 1-bath for $235,900, with lake views of Cordell Hole Reservoir.
$235,900
for over an acre.
Yes.
In Gainesboro with lake views. That sounds wonderful, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. out of the hustle and bustle.
Out of the hustle and bustle. Absolutely. And it's not very far. It doesn't take long to get there. Mm-hmm. So I particularly pulled that one this morning when I was sitting in traffic.
Yeah.
I was like, this one sounds really good to me today.
but you have lots of others.
There is tremendous amount of listings. We're always looking for new listings, as well as if you are looking to upsize or downsize, if you're looking for investment property, if you're looking for commercial property, if you're looking to sell your commercial property, we have an agent for you.
Well, you have a great team of people. The two of you are the ones that are kind of in the spotlight here each Thursday, for most of the time. But it's a lot more than just Jay and Helene, right?
Absolutely. We have a tremendous sized team, and everyone has a little bit different specialties. So if you give us a call at 615-444-0909, we can connect you with an agent that fits your needs.
And you can go to the website, www.agandjohnson.com.
And all of our listings are there, our auctions in there, and we can answer a lot of questions. There's lots of information on the website that you can just buzz around and get your questions answered.
Jay, anything you want to say in closing this morning?
You know, I'd just like to say that just come out and be with us Saturday morning. If it's good and warm, just wrap up and be ready to stay all day.
All right. Well, thank you all. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Coleman.
Jay White, Helene Cash, A.J. and Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main in Lebanon, community trusted since 1977. All right, we are 20 and a half before the hour, and Veronica Anderson joins us this morning, representing Habitat for Humanity, and she's right here live in studio and all set to go and tell us the latest. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Coleman.
How you been?
Great.
Good.
Great. We got a good new year coming up. I just wanted to kind of recap last year and thank all of our 14 sponsors we had and over 400 volunteers, Coleman, to build four houses.
What is your title with Habitat?
Community Relations Manager.
Community Relations Manager.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
well, I take it you pretty much love what you're doing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Let's see, I started on the board. I was on our governing board for 4 years, and then I've been an employee for about 8.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I can't believe it's been this long.
I know. I would not. I would have guessed 3 or 4.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It just, time flies.
Well, you wanted to give us an update. Of course, Habitat's been around for a while, but I think the longer that you have been, the maybe the more popular you have become. I think you mentioned Habitat for Humanity. I would think the majority of people, at least 70-80% of people, know a little bit about what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I mean, we have a wonderful community here, and we have so much support, and I just appreciate everybody that supports Habitat, and it's just a wonderful cause, good mission. We impact families. You know, we don't give them anything free. They work very hard to purchase their home. And
but you've had a number of businesses, and I think a number of churches, too.
Oh, yes.
And maybe other or civic organizations, whatever. But just about every kind of thing like this at one time or another has committed to help do a house or whatever they can do. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, Coleman, we're over 30 years old now.
Yeah.
31 years, our anniversary this year. And because of the help of our community, we've built 91 homes. That is worth applause. And all of, they're all homeowners. That's impacted.
31 years.
31 years this year.
And 91 homes.
Yes.
So that's about 3 a year, even back when if you average in when you first started, didn't do as many. Well, quite a record.
I mean, it's awesome. And I mean, they're all, homeowners, they pay their taxes, just like anyone else that owns a home. And, it impacts our children. I've run into, we keep in touch with all of our Habitat homeowners through the years. And, the children grow up, they go to college, they have great careers because they did purchase, their mother or father purchased a Habitat home.
Yeah.
They gave them a stable home.
And chances are many of these, maybe not all, but a great big percentage of these would not have been able to do this had it not been for Habitat or somebody similar. And I don't know of anybody similar.
Right, right, yes. And, right now with the housing costs being where they are, we have ways to keep the homes affordable. So, we're in terms of who qualifies to purchase a home, they're more higher low income, middle class, that's who can purchase our homes, but we still have ways to make it affordable for them. The homes we built last year, the mortgage payment with principal, taxes, and insurance is right at $1,000 a month, which you can't rent a home in Wilson County for $1,000 a month.
That's right.
So it's still affordable, and we are building 4 houses this year on Bellevue Street, which is off of Old Murfreesboro Road over by the Outlet Mall. That's where we're going to be building this year. So it'll be exciting time. Exciting times.
No doubt. What's your main purpose right now? I mean, just to continue kind of what you've been doing. I mean, you don't have any really new.
Oh
thing.
yes.
Oh,
I got some exciting things.
all right.
Yes,
Okay. All right.
Coleman.
Well, I'm all
We always
ears.
have good stuff. This year we're bringing back the Women Build. We haven't done a Women Build for 4 or 5 years.
Oh.
So I wanted to come out on the radio and kind of ask, and we're searching for women that might want to get involved. So it's a fun build to do.
This women build.
Yes.
That's strictly women.
No, we also have to have men help
All
build.
right. But
But
it's
the
mainly-
women plan it.
Oh.
Plan it, raise the funding, do the food every build day. It's 8 build days. And it's just a fun time to get women together and build a home. So I'm looking and asking for people to contact me if they want to be involved. And they can do that via my phone number. They can text or call me at 615-500-2042. Or they can email me at vanderson@habitatnashville.org.
At habitatnashville.org.
That's my email.
V. Anderson.
Yep.
At
Easy. habitatnashville.org.
easy enough. All right.
Crazy enough.
Okay, we need to take a break right here. More with Veronica coming up here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford Works Vehicle Checkup. They'll make sure your vehicle is ready for any road. It's $49.95 up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal, tire rotation, safety check to 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still running slower than normal as they clear up a series of accidents on 24 eastbound near Briley Parkway. That's slowing down that traffic coming in from the Jolton area. That's what we're looking at live right now. It's still a pretty good delay. Right there, you got all that traffic that arrives from Montgomery County, Clarksville area through the Jolton area, just crawling eastbound 24. Again, so you get past Briley Parkway. Heavy traffic continuing in from Wilson County on I-40 through the Mount Juliet area. Nash Painting is Middle Tennessee's #1 residential and commercial painters. Check them out today at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The refreshing cool after coming in from a hot summer day. The perfect temperature to kick off your shoes and relax with a good book. When the weather heats up, a new Rheem AC system will surround your family in total comfort. Are you feeling it? Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Believe it or not, it's almost time for Cumberland University baseball, and you can join me, Randy Salas, and Cumberland Phoenix head baseball coach Ryan Hunt, along with a couple of his Phoenix players for Batter Up, an hour-long baseball season kickoff show this Tuesday, January 24th at 7:05 a.m. during the Coleman and Company show. Hopes are high for the 2023 season at the Six, also known as Woody Hunt Stadium, and we'll go in-depth discussing it all with Coach Hunt and his players. That's Batter Up, Tuesday, 7:05 a.m. You won't want to miss it. Go Phoenix.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
Coleman and Company here on a Thursday morning. My thanks to Veronica Anderson for coming out and sharing a little time with us and telling us all about Habitat for Humanity. Most people know a little bit about it, but we've got a great thing going for us here. And you're already talking about a women's only, you call it, although it's not exactly, but it's pretty much.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. And we have a kickoff event coming up in March. So watch our Facebook page, or Instagram page, which is Wilson Habitat for Humanity, to keep up with us. Please go like it and follow our pages, because that's where we put most of our information, as well as our website. But our Facebook and Instagram pages are more accurate, you know, on everyday things we're doing.
Well, you don't just say, "Hey, I want Habitat to build me a home," and it gets done. There's a process,
Yes.
and a very meaningful one.
Absolutely.
Because when you hand the keys to one of these new homes to somebody, they have been through really an educational
Yes.
learning time, and I think for the most part, you've been extremely successful with their success. I mean,
Yes.
they have made their house payments, unless something terribly unfortunate has happened. They're so happy to have a home of their own that they do what they've been taught to do, and it's a great success.
Absolutely. And, you know, we do the financial education for them, 12-week course. And, you know, during COVID, a couple homeowners, you know, had to lay off for a little while, and they called me, "Thank goodness you taught us about an emergency fund. I had money to pay my bills while I was off, and I wouldn't have had that without that."
That
So
is wonderful.
that is the stories and things that just we impact people for success, and that's what I love about our program. And we also are looking for homeowners. So the 4 homes we're building this year, we need homeowners. We need people that want to buy them. So please go to our website, which is habitatnashville.org, and apply when we open our window. So right now, there's all of qualifications are online. And when we open our window, like there's a window of time that we accept applications. And last year, we had that window open for 2 weeks, and we got 97 applications.
Wow.
So, yeah. So it's really good to go to our website. Everything's accurate, up to date, or they're updating numbers right now as I speak. But habitatnashville.org/apply will get you right to the area you need to look at qualifications and to sign up for a notification where you'll receive an email when our window opens. As soon as that opens, apply and let the roll begin.
Who makes the decision that because if you have 97
Right.
and you're building 4,
Right.
that means 93.
Now, right. Well, we pull credit, we run budgets, we look at their debt to income ratios. I mean, they've got to fit. And we have a selection committee that actually votes on the the future homeowners.
Do you get to see them or anything, or is it
Absolutely.
just a bit?
Yeah.
I mean, before you make a decision, okay.
Yes.
So there's maybe an interview process or something where at least you get to see the people that are applying.
Oh, yeah. Once they get past the financial part, we have an interview on the phone, and then we have a home visit with one of my advisory council members, and I will meet them. And because there's 3 main things we look for: 1, ability to pay; 2, housing need, which most people right now, if their rent is over $1,000 a month, housing need is there. And 3, willingness to partner. So we have 200 sweat equity hours. They have to go through all these classes, and that doesn't fit everybody. So those are the things we want to make sure that they fit good in our program. And then they purchase the home at 0% interest.
All right.
So-
How can other people help you?
Yes.
You're needing some things to
some-
understand.
Yes, some sponsors and volunteers for our builds. We've got the Women Build, which we've already talked about. I need some people. I would love to have more partners for that. And we also, right next door to that house, we're building a faith build, community build, and I've got about 4 churches already committed, but I need 4 more. I need some more companies and churches that might want to get involved. So that's why I'm out here on the radio too, just to kind of spread the word that I'm looking for more partners that want to be involved.
You have churches, large and small,
Yes.
that have helped in the
Yes.
past.
Mhm.
Even a relatively small congregation, maybe of 40 or 50 people, would, if they are willing to work, that's okay.
Absolutely. We'll make it. We've got a couple churches that actually work together on their build day because it is a sponsorship that goes along with it. And sometimes, the amount is a little more than the church can do, but I just put them with another church. Come on
Okay.
out. So we look for 15 to 20 volunteers per day, and they bring out the food. And a lot of times we build on Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday, the churches will have their, a worship service right there. And it is so awesome for that when that happens.
Well, you are looking, and now
Mm-hmm.
do they need to contact you
Yes.
directly, or?
Yes. How to get a hold of me would be email or phone number, either one. So the phone number is 615-500-2042.
We're not going to do like A.G. and Johnson here.
Oh, man, that was neat. No, anyway. And then my
But
email.
I did write it down.
You
Bobby.
did. And my email is just vanderson@habitatnashville.org. Call me, text me, email me. If not, I'll probably be reaching out anyways.
You are really wanting to hear from some people, and
Yes.
fairly soon here, because
Yes.
it's 2023, and you
That's
want to get the
right.
ball
And we're
rolling.
going to start building. These houses are building. We've got them set for May and June. So that's coming up real quick.
You're going to build
So,
4 in 2
2 in
months?
spring, 2 in the fall.
Oh, okay. All right.
2 in the spring, 2 in the fall.
That's pretty much the way you do it all the time.
Yeah.
And that's 4 a year.
Yes.
And you've had an average of 3 a year from the very beginning. About that?
About that, yes. In the past, since we merged with Nashville, which
Yeah.
has been 7-8 years, we've done 4 a year. So our goal is to do 5-6, more. As soon as our restore gets open, we'll be able to do that. So,
All right. You ready to talk about the restore?
yes, everybody wants to know about our restore.
That's been a
Yes.
popular place.
Yes.
And you've had some. I think it hadn't been open for a while, right?
No, we closed at COVID, and the store is a little too small and unsafe, which is why we didn't reopen it.
Mhm.
And the manager got married and moved.
All right. So what are you going to do?
So we have purchased, if you haven't heard yet, we purchased a wing of the outlet mall, over 40,000 square feet. We have repaired the roof. We're working on demoing now because it was 10 different suites that we purchased where the Reebok was and all the way down. So now we're demoing and remodeling to make it look like a restore. And our offices will also be there. And we're shooting for the end of the year. So we're in the middle of doing that, and be on the lookout. That's going to be exciting.
In addition to building 4 homes for somebody, you're going to have to do some remodeling
Yes.
and moving and
Yep.
getting in there and getting set up.
Yes.
But
gonna be great.
once done, and the restore will be there.
Yes.
The public is invited to that once it's open.
Oh, yes. We'll have a huge kickoff. We'll have oh, yes. That's why it's important to follow our Facebook page. We'll have everything on there.
Okay.
I'll be on-
For those who might not be too familiar with that, what is the restore all about?
The Restore is a retail store that sells building supplies that's either donated or gifted to us. So right now, we have a lot of warehouses in the area, if you don't know that, right? That will donate items to us. We have a Lowe's distribution center that donates pallets of stuff to us.
Yeah.
So we already have a lot of product as soon as we get the store open. So we resell building supplies. So anything in your home, either decorated stuff or sinks or cabinets or couches, decor, anything that is donated that is for a home.
And of course, right now you're not open, but
No.
once you
No.
get open, I take it
Yes.
that you surely make a little bit from this, which goes to benefit Habitat.
Absolutely, absolutely. And our affiliate is Davidson County, Dixon, Cheatham, Robertson, and Wilson. So in our little area, we have 3 restores. So we have the Nashville Restore that's open that you can shop at. We have one in Dixon, and then we'll have one in Wilson.
Okay.
It's going to be awesome.
Hopefully by the end of the year.
Yes, we're hoping that.
All right, we got 2 minutes. Is anything, I
Okay.
think there's one other thing you wanted to talk about, and maybe we've covered, I don't know, but.
That's okay.
Well,
That's
it's
okay.
nice to see you today.
Nice to be here and thank everyone that's supporting us. It's just
But
great.
but you do need some people to help build.
Yes, I do.
And that, I guess that's really the main thing right now. Of course,
Yes.
once it gets open, you'll have a number of people who are going to be applying for
Yep.
these 4 homes that you're going to build. 2 in the spring, 2 in the fall.
That's right. You got it.
All right. What else? We got a minute and a half. What else you got to say this morning?
I just want to thank everyone. Last year, we had a lot of good sponsors from last year. Do I have time to kind of go over those?
Okay.
All right. So we had over 12 sponsors that helped build 4 homes. And we had College Hills Church of Christ, Providence Church, St. Stephen Catholic, Lebanon First United Methodist, Cook's Methodist Church, A.O. Smith Lochinvar, MTAR, Rotary Groups of Wilson County, Famous Footwear, Enbridge, Middle Tennessee, Sharon Change. All those people came out and helped. It was wonderful.
Maybe some of those will repeat.
That's right.
It'd be
I
nice
hope
if
so.
all of them would.
Yes.
But you're still looking for a few more.
Yes, and we also have Wilson Bank and Trust did a full house on their own.
Really?
Yes, they had all their employees came out and built a house. It was awesome.
I'll
It was
bet.
awesome. Yep.
Well,
Yep.
did they come from all over? They weren't just from Wilson County.
They were from all the different regions they were in.
Yeah.
So that was a fun build for them too.
No doubt.
Yes. So
All right. Well, we're about out of time. Veronica Anderson, it's been nice to have you here today, and I appreciate what you're doing. And no doubt you are helping people have homes that wouldn't otherwise, and that's kind of what Habitat's all about.
that's right. Thank you, Coleman.
Thank you. That's going to do it for Thursday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow for Coleman and Company. Till then, I wish you a tremendous day.